16 years ago, I learned one of the most important leadership lessons of my career. And that is how important it is that bad news has to travel fast within an organization versus people hiding bad news. So 16 years ago, I was middle of my career. I was leading a pretty big sales team, reporting to a person that was running the entire US business. Once a month, he would get together with his boss, the leader of the entire business globally, and also all of the other parts of the business, product development, sales, marketing. They would all come together and talk about this business. He came to me one day and said, Jamie, I'm unable to make the next business review, and I would like you to stand in my place. What a great opportunity for me, I thought. What a great visibility opportunity to learn and to grow. Well, at that time, our business was really struggling. Our team was frustrated. The product that we were out there trying to sell was not going well. There were some major, R&D issues with it, and our customers were really struggling. Yet, as I listened to the business review, standing in for my boss, you would have thought the business was going great. Customers were happy. Everything's wonderful. This is what everybody had been telling the very senior leader of the business. And as I was still contemplating, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do I say something or not? Somebody said to me, Jamie, what do you think about that? Is that what you're experiencing on the ground floor with your customers? Moment of truth. And I said, with all due respect, that is not what our customers are experiencing. In fact, just last night, there was another outage that impacted our team. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. And I'd like to say that I said those things out of a place of boldness and wanting to be direct and of authority and power, but probably at that time of my career, it was more like I didn't understand politically how to say things the right way. But there it was, the bomb in the middle of the table, the bad news traveling right up to the senior leader of the organization. Well, a pin could drop in the room, of course. And the next thing I know, the senior leader said, okay, let's keep moving. And I got an instant message immediately from his executive admin saying, Jamie, this leader would like you to join his one-on-ones with the head of product every single week until we get these issues sorted out. So clearly, as I reflect on it, bad news was not traveling to this senior leader. I had seen over the months frustration that our sales results weren't where they needed to be and our overall results weren't there. And now I could finally see nobody was telling him the reality of what was going on in the business. Remember, as a leader, you're far removed. That leader was far removed. The people on the ground floor closest to it really know what's going on. So what are the results of bad news not traveling fast in an organization? Well, for one, stifled innovation. We just weren't innovating as quickly as we could have been if we would have just been very clear-eyed and very open and transparent about what issues we were trying to solve. Another bad result, wasted time, wasted effort, wasted resources. And finally, low employee morale, even turnover. I can't tell you how many people in my organization were starting to get frustrated. It doesn't seem like things are getting fixed. Maybe I should go to one of our competitors who has a solution that's better than ours that I could feel really proud of representing. So lots of bad things happen when bad news doesn't travel fast. So what motivates people to hide bad news? Why would people even do this? Well, I think there's two big things. One is a fear of retribution, right? That leader is pretty scary. We think if we say something and tell what's really going on, there'll be something bad that could happen to me. Maybe that's just a fear that's unfounded, or maybe there's a pattern. We've seen that happen before, so we're just going to keep our mouths shut. Another reason that motivates people to hide bad news is that they could be struggling. They could be saying to themselves, I don't want anybody to know that I'm struggling, so I'm just not going to talk about the bad things, and I'm just going to keep working on it and until I figure it out, and then everything will be fine. And when people are struggling and they don't want to tell you they're struggling, it could be that they don't feel like you really have their back, or they don't feel like they're working in a culture where they can, people can appreciate that they're struggling and then can help them learn and grow. So what can leaders do to encourage bad news to travel fast? And there are three things. First, you can model the way. Nobody's perfect. Mistakes are made. And when you make a mistake as a leader and you say, guys, I made a mistake today and here's what happened and here's how I'm fixing it, you send a message that it's okay to make a mistake too and that we need to talk about them and ask for help. The second thing you can do is be accessible. If you make a point of regularly walking around and asking people at all levels, hey, how are things going? What's one thing we're doing really well? What's one thing that we could improve upon? People will notice and people will start to realize that that's how we work around here. We give feedback very regularly. And, I learned this from Jack Welch, who I had the opportunity to hear speak one day. He said, pay attention to the cues. If you're speaking to a group, you're speaking to your team, and you start to see faces that look like skepticism or strange faces, don't gloss past those. That just means that people that you're speaking to are seeing something that you're not seeing and that they might not be telling you. So you got to dig in. You have to ask what's really going on. And the third, and this might be the most important, reward candor. When somebody does speak up, have the courage to speak up and tell you what's really going on and sharing bad news, bring out the bands, reward that behavior. Make sure everybody knows that that's exactly what you want to see in the organization. I'm actually very grateful to this day that senior leader that everybody thought was so scary, he rewarded my candor. I probably could have said it in a better way, but he rewarded it. And he sent a message thereby to the organization that, we want to know where the problems are. We want to get to the bottom of things. We want to fix things. So as we wrap up, I have a reflection for each of you. Does bad news travel fast in your organization? How do you know? And if you're not sure, think about practicing these 3 things. Model the way, be accessible, reward candor. Thanks for joining this episode today. If it helped you in some way, please like it, send me a comment so I know what you're experiencing, and please subscribe to Executive Access to receive all of my content every week. Thanks so much.